Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today is going to be the greatest day of your life. Do you know what one of the best things is in life? I believe it's being a parent or a role model to a young person. There are certain things that we all need to hear, no matter how old we are, and we want to hear them directly from our parents. I didn't have a good relationship growing up with my parents. I lost my father when I was 10 years old, and my mother didn't handle that quite well, and she kind of fell completely apart and impacted the way that we were brought up, and it impacted, I think, who I am today. So there are just certain things that I think are very important that we should actually say to our kids directly by setting them down, looking them in the eye. And whether they're little ones, teens, young adults, or grown adults, we're never too young or too old to hear important things from our mom and dad. And I think it's really important. I just want to throw a couple of those things out there. Now, I know I said mom and dad, but before we dive in, I wanted to let you know I'm not just talking about parents. Maybe you are a parent now, or you're planning on having children in the future, or maybe you're a guardian, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, or maybe you're a leader in your community where younger people look to you for empowerment. What would our world look like if everyday parents and role models were sharing positive messages with the young people that look up to them? It'd be an amazing place to live. It would be completely incredible. The first thing I think it's important that we should just sit down with our kids, take them by the hand, look them in the eye. Remember, we're good communicators. We've been working on that together. And just say thank you. You give my life purpose and joy. There's nothing in life more valuable than the relationships that we have with our loved ones. And these relationships bring purpose into our lives and joy. And the purpose of parenthood is unlike anything else. It's just amazing. Giving life and raising another human being, it just brings a new level of depth and meaning to our life's journey, right? And, to tell your children this, let them know the gravity of their value, purpose, and meaning in your life and how much they've enriched your world. It'll make all the difference to them. Tell your kids, I love you every moment, including all the times I didn't say it or act that way. People of all ages need to receive love and affirmations to support them in their journey in life. And we need that too, right? And it's super important to get that directly from our parents or our guardians. Children look to their parents and as immediate role models. Guardians and grandparents, for example, can also be immediate role models. And, we look to our parents for bonding, security, safety, acceptance, and unconditional love. And when we don't get those things, it impacts us not only as a child, but then we carry that burden later throughout our lives. And it's not enough to just be loving. The world can be a challenging place. We need to hear the words, I love you. We need to hear that. So I need to hear that. I tell my kids that every day. Tell your kids you love them. Tell them they're important. Tell them that you care about them. It'll make all the difference. They may shrug it off. They may be teenagers and walk away from it like, yeah, whatever. But the fact that you said it will have an impact on them for the rest of their lives. They may act like it doesn't matter, but I'm telling you that there is nothing more important. And as a part of being a successful individual, these are things we're working on, right? We're working towards our goals. We're trying to build our dreams and our desires through setting goals and walking down the path of achievement towards those goals. You cannot be successful if you don't tell your children that you love them. I'm telling you right now, you'll never have complete fulfillment. You'll never achieve all your dreams and desires until you reach out, hug your kids, and say, hey, you're important to me and I love you. Trust me. I found out a long time ago there's a magic in the world, and I don't know why it works this way, but I guarantee it works this way for every single person, every single time they try it. And it's a magic that involves The better I am to my family, the more good comes into my life. The more success, I couldn't believe it. The better that I am to my family, I treat my spouse and my children well. I care for them. I provide for their emotional well-being, and the good that comes into my life, we start winning deals, business starts taking off, things are really going great, and it all revolves around that interaction, that love that we share. It's a bond that can't be broken, and it's so important to your individual success as you move forward. Also, I'd like for you to say to your children, I'm sorry for anything that I've said or done, or not said or done, that might have let you down. And no one's perfect, and the ability to say I'm sorry goes a long way towards building bonds and a sense of security in a relationship, especially with our children, right? And while most of us know this, we may think about this in terms of a parent-child relationship not very often, right? Most of the time we immediately think of our children needing to say sorry for doing something they did wrong, or not meeting expectations, or for being naughty in some way. But what about when adults get it wrong? We're parents, and we're human beings, and we're not perfect, and we're not always going to nail it as a parent. So be okay with saying, hey, admitting you're wrong and saying, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I haven't done. I'm sorry if I let you down, but you know what? I care about you, and I love you. And I tell you what, you say that to your children, say it to your spouse, say it to anyone you care about. Because when adults say sorry, it teaches valuable lessons in humility, making amends, and it also teaches forgiveness. And I tell you what families could use a lot more of in this world, forgiveness. It builds a deeper level of trust. And that's what we want to have with our spouse and our children and the people around us. So you know what? Dump the ego. It's a bunch of crap anyway. And own up and say, hey, I'm sorry if I wasn't there when I should have been. I'm sorry for what I haven't done. I'm saying I'm sorry to you because you're important to me, and what you think of me matters. And maybe you haven't always been there, but you want to make sure you let your kids know that you care. It's so important. Also tell your kids, you're an incredible person. What I appreciate about you most is, and then insert the topic. Tell your kids what you appreciate about them. Tell your kids what you think is amazing about them. Tell them you care about them, and tell them that you're noticing, you're watching, you see. I remember when my kids were really young, it's always, Daddy, watch this, Daddy, watch that. All they want is for you to see. That doesn't change no matter how old they get. So if you're an older parent and you have adult children, pick up the darn phone, give them a call and remind them why you love them. Remind them about things that you appreciated as they were growing up. But reach out to them and say, hey, you know what I really appreciate about you? It's this. And tell your kids you love them and say, that was wonderful. Or you remember when you were growing up and you did this, and maybe I didn't show my appreciation for that, or I didn't, but I want you to know that I noticed and I saw that you did that, and I love you. How good does it feel when someone praises you, for something you've done, whether it be, your personality or, your intelligence or something you've accomplished. As you're achieving all these goals and we're working together, people are appreciating the new you. They're seeing the changes. They're seeing how amazing and wonderful you are. It feels good, right? Well, if you have loved ones in your life that you care about, they'll feel exactly the same way if you show them the same attention. And it's a huge affirmation. It's like a wave of love that'll wash over you when you say good things to your family, and when your family, recognizes that you're reaching out to show them that appreciation. Now, by praising children, we cement the essentials for life. When you praise your kids or others, you're giving them self-esteem, self-confidence, self-belief, and you're teaching them self-love. You're showing them that they are great. By your words, you can change everything for someone. My favorite quote, Dr. Seuss always said, you never know who's just hanging on by a string, and you never know when you're that string. People notice you. You should notice them. And another thing to say to your kids I think is really important is I'm proud of you. And let them know you're proud of them for who they are, no matter what they do. And, in a society that's built on, our society's built to condition people to strive for more, get more, do more, and I think too many kids in our society today grow up thinking they need to achieve certain standards in order to be loved, or in order for their parents to be proud of them. I always worry about that. My kids are exceptional with academics, and I always worry, boy, I hope that they know that I love them, even if they don't get an A. It's important for our kids to know that our love for them is not tied to any independent activity or accomplishment that they can achieve. We just love them because we're their parents and they're our kids. And they're everything to us, and we made them, we created them, and they're our responsibility. And a part of that responsibility is the emotional support that we need to show them on a daily basis, okay? That's part of being a successful individual. You want to be successful. Successful people don't walk around bad-mouthing their children to other people. Successful people lift their children up. They lift their family, put them on a pedestal, say good things about them, point out their achievements, and show others that you're a good parent by saying the good things and being responsible for the actions of those you love, especially your children and your spouse. Now, because social media and mass media and the news and advertising are all working hard to condition young people to become more, do more, get more, succeed, strive, and look a certain way in order to be good. If you're overweight, you're not good, or whatever it is, whatever the crap is they tell you. We don't have TV in our house. I don't allow that in my house as a part of being a responsible parent. We avoid that crap. And I tell you what, it's our job to tell our children in our lives that we're proud of them. And you know what? That's it. Full stop. I love you. And that's it. Nothing is ever going to change that. And we're proud of them for who they are as a person. No matter what they do, we will be there. My kids go to jail. I'm going to be there bailing them out. And I'm going to be there supporting them regardless, because I'm the parent. I love them. I care about them. Now, hopefully, I'm doing a good enough job parenting and mentoring my children to where they wouldn't break the law and go to jail. I'm just using that as an example, but that's the love I have for my kids. It's unconditional, and they can always count on me. Your kids need to be able to count on you. And children need to know that there's nothing that they can do or not do, say or not say, that will make them less or more loved. They are magical just the way they are. You're magical just the way you are. There's nothing you can say or not say. I'll still care about you. I'll still be back here tomorrow trying to help you and work with you to get you down this road towards achieving the dreams and desires that you have for yourself. But we need to also make sure that we're giving children the mindset and an emotional foundation that's necessary to thrive in life. So they can go out into life and create and creatively and intuitively follow their heart's desire to do whatever they freely choose to be, do, and experience in this world. Not for validation, not for acceptance, just for the joy of it, because that's who they are, and we love them for exactly who they are. Now I'm going to put these five sayings in the description that I believe that you should just say to your kids. It'll change your relationship with them like night and day. Too many of our kids are growing up in environments that are either unhealthy, or even if we feel that they're healthy, our kids are just not feeling loved. And an unloved child will act out in ways that's inappropriate and is unnecessary, because if they feel loved and cared for, they'll look to you as a role model, and you can set the example that will get them on the right track down the road so that they can live the quality life that you want them to live. As I was growing up, I said, when I'm a dad, I want my kids to be better than me. I want them to have more than me. I want them to live more fulfilling lives and be happier than I've ever been. And I'm still working to try to make that dream a reality. Make that dream a reality for your kids. Want them to have more. Want them to be more. Tell them you love them. Tell them you care about them. It's the most important thing you can do in this day. If you have to put your goals down for a little bit to go and sit with your child and tell them you love them, do it. Because you know what? There's nothing more important that you're ever working on that comes before telling your kids you love them and you care about them. I'm going to be back tomorrow with some really great stuff, friends. Listen, I care about you. I think you're amazing. There are wonderful things inside of you that are just waiting to come out for the world to enjoy. Let's keep working down this path together. We're going to get there. You're amazing. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.